What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stokastic here on the Odd Trapper channel, coming to you with another edition of Ladies, Leans, Likes, and Locks MLB 15 Gamer coming down the pipeline. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me in this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Every single Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday for the last month has been a 15 Gamer. We've been putting in that work, so if you could, just smash that like button for myself, for producer Jacob. Give us some love. Give us some, good feelings. Because again, we are putting in that work for you, burning the kind of midnightish oil, depending on where you're at. I'm in South Dakota right now. Welcome to my childhood bedroom. My buddy Jacob sitting there out in the desert, just doing things for us here, putting in that work, Devin. Don't give up. That's a great commercial. But make sure you smash that like button as we get into this lovely slate we have before us. Today was pretty decent for the most part. Smashed. I ended up a little bit heavier on just about everything down the entire board today. Ended up hitting some money lines early. Ended up hitting the over on that San Diego Washington spot. Homers? We'll start getting on track here again. But again, if you can hit one a day, you're probably keeping the doctor away. Things are probably all right, except for, well, there's one short odds home run play that we're going to be on today just because I want to talk about how ridiculous it is. Kind of like this deal. BetMGM, they've been the partner here of this program for the last week or so. And why? Well, I want to get you guys in that premium Discord hanging out with me for free. Yeah, you heard me, for free. You want that betting card that I keep talking about, that the subs keep talking about? It's a lot of fun, great community, but that's not it. We're making some money there. And it's not just myself, but Eitan Shander, but Ben Raza, Isaiah Suarez, so many genius dudes putting in that work. I'm okay sometimes, but we're putting in that work, and you're going to get 2 free months. Yeah, 2 free months just by signing up at BetMGM in the link below using promo code OS Insider. Yes, promo code OS Insider gets you 2 months of Discord in addition to a bet that will get refunded up to $1,000 in bonus bets if it doesn't hit. So you put $100 on it. If it doesn't hit, you get $100 back in bonus bets, so on and so forth, up to $1,000. Alrighty, y'all. I'll talk about it a little bit later, but we got 15 games, lots to get to. Let's get to the picks. It's the weekend, baby. Let's party in Wrigley. That would be a great place to be this weekend. We've got the Reds, we've got the Cubs, and we've got pitching. My dude, Hunter Green, on the mound. Yes, he's giving up some hard contact, but a 30.8% K rate, and go to winfinder.com. It's not that hard. I know I'm a golfer, but again, I'm always looking at weather because you got to plan ahead. What do you wear? What do I do with my hands? I don't even know. Do I wear gloves? Do I not? It's a golf thing, I promise you. But windfinder.com is where I kind of make all of my assessments on exactly where the wind flow is going, because you can see it directly on the screen. Looks like the wind should be pretty muted there. You can also go to, there's lots of places to look up wind at stadiums. That's just my favorite. It's a great immersive screen. Thought I would explain that one time. Looks like it'll be pretty decent there in Wrigley. But Hunter Green, 30.8% K rate, 45% hard hit percentage. Lovely. Justin Steele has been a stud himself. 25.1% hard hit percentage, 274 xWOBA, and a 324 expected slugging across the board. Feel like pitching is pretty darn special when you're talking about these two teams. Now, you do have a couple of pieces, whether it's Stevenson, Steer, a couple of guys on the Cincinnati side who have some decent batted ball profile for this one, but I do not care, because I repeat, 25.1% hard hit percentage with 61% fastball usage for Justin Steele. Ball's not going anywhere with those guys hitting it. Jonathan India leads this team with a 41.8% hard hit percentage, which is not all that high. So friends, we are looking at an under from the first play of the game. Under 8. I like Green. I like Steele. Put them together. Gotta be liking an under. Our second game of the day, and this one's not all that appealing to me. Feel like this is actually going to be quick for a 15 gamer. I'm feeling pretty concise with my analysis, feeling like I kind of know what I want to do. And Lance Lynn, backing him right now with a 473 expected slugging, sure ain't it. A 274 expected batting average, nope. Do like the 26.5% K rate, and I do like some of the improvements we're starting to see. But for the most part, it just doesn't feel like he's going to be all that consistent, and this is the favorite here. Well, that's just tougher to get behind when you're talking about a Lance Lynn Chicago White Sox offense at minus 140. If this were minus 120, maybe we can have a conversation here. Maybe we can start having some fun here in some kind of capacity. But minus 140, best current available number. Don't think that's going to be on my betting card tomorrow, even though that's going to be my lean going up against Joey Wentz because he is downright terrible. 17.6% K rate, expected slugging sit right at 509. Those are not what we're looking for. These are not the droids you are looking for, friends. A 7.45 ERA. Nope, no thanks. Hasn't escaped the third inning. Yeah, hasn't got out of the third inning in his last 2 starts. So why would that change here? I don't know. But I would like a better number because, well, Lance Lynn, not all that predictable himself. Don't think I'm backing an exact ace at this point in time. Strikeouts, nice to see them back, but White Sox money line, just a lean in game 2. Now, this is a matchup that should be a lot of fun. We've got the Dodgers heading to Tropicana, taking on the lovely little Tampa Bay Rays, who just continue to put up runs and runs and runs. And now we're running into a little bit of a bullpen situation where they're going to start off with Jalen Beeks. He's going to be the opener in this one. Looks like he's going to be making well for Cooper Criswell, who's not all that good, but I don't know if he necessarily has to go long for this game. We have seen him go 82, 86 pitches, but if things are going south, they're just trying to get the Dodgers to do their normal platoon thing early. In Tampa Bay, they're a smart organization. Jalen Beeks, if he gets it going early, you might see him extended to 2 innings. He's got a 302 expected slugging, a 276 xWOBA, and you get those lefties starting off against the Dodgers. Well, I mean, if they're not going to move JD Martinez up from the 5 hole, you're going to have him face a righty, perhaps. Lots of interesting configurations for this game. So I'm just making the assumption that Tampa Bay is going to do smart kid things. Yeah, how about that for analysis? Tampa Bay does smart kid things. So do the Dodgers, and this line is so wild because you go to BetMGM on the money line. The Dodgers are minus 105. You go to Bet Rivers, though, Tampa Bay minus 103 on the money line. We're talking a very small amount of hold that exists on this one. Do you want to know everything that I'm talking about here? Check it out at OddsShopper. You can sign up for that in the video description box below. And hey, if you ever have any questions about specific betting terms, specific betting methods, hit me up on Twitter at Eric Lindquist. I'd be happy to let you know. But my main thing here is I have to be backing the Tampa Bay side because I just don't think Noah Syndergaard's that good at this stage of his career. A 16.9% K rate, 290 expected batting average, and we're talking about the best offense in all of baseball against right-handed pitching. Yes, that being the Tampa Bay Rays, and not even by a small amount. Love seeing Brandon Lau. Josh Lowe sitting up there at the top of the lineup. He batted leadoff today against a righty. Like seeing that, considering he's been one of the best hitters in baseball, period. End of sentence. Luke Raley now sent to the 7 hole. Nice to have your 7 hole hitter with a 54.9% hard hit percentage, a 381 xWOBA. So, I think this is a clear-cut Tampa Bay moneyline play. We move along our merry way. San Diego heading to Yankee Stadium. This should be fun. Long balls possibly in store. However, Joe Musgrove, a pretty decent starter there for the San Diego Padres on the mound, going up against Randy Vasquez. And so we got to do a little bit of a deep dive on him, but starting with Joe Musgrove, more of a known quantity. Good to see him coming off of that weight room injury. Yeah, you heard me. Google it. Weight room injury. Decent enough start here to his season. Nothing special. Well, it's been terrible in the ERA department. 6.75 ERA, 1.58 whip, but a 230 expected batting average. Exit velocity sitting around 87.6 miles per hour for an average. That's really good stuff. And an 8% walk rate. So the StatCast data, really nice. Joe Musgrove ERA, really bad. One of those matters more than the other. I'll let you dictate which one matters more to you. However, I'm going to be targeting this Randy Vasquez character a little bit. This is going to be a very fascinating spot here for his major league debut. He has a 4.85 ERA, though, sitting down there at AAA Scranton. He's got a decent pitching prospect, but we're talking about a Padres lineup that definitely brings the pain if you're not going to be on your stuff right from the get-go. And I do think against right-handed pitching, they have to improve. They're sitting at an 89 WRC plus with a 151 ISO. So I've kind of handpicked Juan Soto as my home run play here, but I could see myself playing a small amount of Jake Cronenworth, Matt Carpenter, even Trent Grisham, who was the only guy to go yard there for that San Diego and Washington game there on Thursday that I took the over on. Lovely to hit the over. Thanks. Oh no, Odor went yard too. I don't think I can take Rougned Odor here. Probably punch me for saying that. I'll just punch everybody for saying that anyway. That was still hilarious. What's Bautista up to? Not baseball. Anyway, Juan Soto to hit a home run. If it's better than plus 320 in Yankee Stadium, short porch out to right. We've targeted it a number of times. We'll target it here. Off to Baltimore we go. We're cruising, my friends. John Gray on the mound going up against Grayson Rodriguez. I think you know by now, I'm not a big fan of this Baltimore starting pitching rotation. Starting to come around on Wells, tiny bit. Hitting the caution flag a little bit, but boy, do I love this lineup up and down. My God, even Gunnar Henderson hasn't had the greatest start to the season, but he has a 16% walk rate, 47.1% hard hit percentage, starting to see the pieces come together for one of the top prospects in baseball. You put him next to Adley Rutschman, who's just been a god behind the plate, and then now he's smashing baseballs again, 395 xWOBA, 294 expected batting average. Like everything there, even though I do not like what we've seen out of Grayson Rodriguez. And that, unfortunately, creates the first time that I'm going to be going against these Baltimore Orioles in quite some time, because I like John Gray's profile here. A 35.4% hard hit percentage, 351 xWOBA, but that's not great. 18.4% K rate, that's way down for John Gray by his standards, but still, I expect positive regression from this 5.18 expected ERA, and mainly because I expect the ground ball rate to start returning back to the mid 40-ish% sooner rather than later. He's had some tougher spots throughout this entire season. I think that that's probably one of the underutilized things that I don't talk about enough here is who have you been facing? Well, lately it was better, Colorado and Oakland, and that's why you've seen the results drastically improve. We're talking 0 and 1 earned runs there, but Arizona 4 earned. At Cincinnati, small ballpark, 3 earned there. Talking about at Houston, we've had some interesting spots, and he really hasn't gotten shelled anywhere. And that's why you're seeing a 3.02 ERA, 1.16 whip. So I like John Gray here going up against Baltimore. Sure, it profiles better as a stadium for lefty power. And yet I like the Texas money line because this Texas lineup against a bad righty is going to be no joke. Love seeing Seager back in the party. Shout out my dude there. Going to be nice to see him back in the mix. He'll start raking again, even though he's at a 348 batting average with overall 1 OPS. He's really good at baseball. Texas money line, I like it. I do not like this game whatsoever. We got Shane Bieber on the mound. Kind of hard not to like him. Going up against Mr. Liberator. Yeah, we're talking Matthew Liberator for the first time in a long time. I feel like I haven't had to break him down in a while. Now, this soft tosser, well, he throws 95, 96, so it's that. This non-K rate guy starting in 2022, 17.4% K rate, it's improved to 25.9%, but we're talking a 2-game sample size. That's nothing. This lefty gets a Cleveland team that's not very good. He only had 1 inning pitched, though, in his last outing, was basically doing a bullpen thing, but then he did start and pitch 95 pitches in his debut on the 17th against Milwaukee, so I think that's the ballpark we're kind of looking at, and Cleveland's not a great baseball team altogether, and that's the only thing that's really, well, it's not a great lineup altogether, they're atrocious, but we're looking at a pretty inflated number to back Shane Bieber here, and the strikeouts just don't seem like they're going to be returning at this stage of his career. It's another sad kind of fact of life. He's got a 50.5% hard hit percentage. He's always given up hard contact, but he's always been able to avoid it with a 25 or a 33 or a 41.1% K rate that he had back in 2020. That is drastically different than 17.8% we're looking at now. So hard hit up, K rate down. As much as I want to back Cleveland here, I really can't do it. So we're going to lean towards that side of it. Maybe take a Nolan Gorman shot with a St. Louis home run again. We'll see where it kind of grades out at Odd Shopper for tomorrow. But as it stands right now, nothing I like in this game. Nothing I'm going over the moon to try to target. Cleveland money line, just a lean. Philadelphia heading to Atlanta here. Taijuan Walker, somehow the better pitcher of the two? No way. Well, kind of profiles that way for me. Taijuan Walker going up against Jared Schuster. Yeah, Jared Schuster of the Braves back-end starter. Excuse me. There we go. Continuing on. Taijuan Walker, a 5.79 ERA, 1.44 whip. I do not like anything that I've seen out of him pretty much this entire season outside of some decent ground ball outings that he had against Cincinnati, that he had against Colorado. You know, 2 of the worst lineups in all of baseball? Cincinnati and Colorado. So there you go. 5.79 ERA, 1.44 whip. We're going to pass. We're just going to pass. However, I'm still leaning towards them getting the run and a half because Jared Schuster's been worse. 5.49 ERA, 1.42 whip. Those numbers aren't as bad, but you look at some of the hard contact profile, and this lefty facing some of these pieces on the other side, ooh boy. Philadelphia, they have decent enough righties. I know they're not as good as what they're going to be going forward against some of the right-handed pitching because of Schwarber, because of Bryce Harper, but I see a number of pieces like Alec Boehm, who went yard again on Thursday. I see JT Realmuto, a lot of pieces of Nick Castellanos, still feeling like plus 1.5. This is a pretty big, massive run line differential for me. So I don't recommend a lot of plus 1.5s. I think they're very tough to beat overall. But DraftKings Sportsbook has this at minus 150, and you compare that to Bet365. When you see an identical number between the two, pretty nice spot to be invested. So plus 1.5, it's at least a lean, even if I'm not firing it up as of now. 15 games, better spots to go, but I don't completely hate adding this to your card. Milwaukee, woo baby. Milwaukee going to be hosting San Francisco here. Starting to lose my voice. It's the end of the week. Hit that like button for me. Putting in that work for you. Freddie Peralta, he's been very bad. Alex Wood, well, he's been a little bit better in some regards. 4.05 ERA, 1.45 whip. Really not extending past 75 pitches for now, but he faces Milwaukee against some of those, well, you kind of neutralize Yelich. You neutralize for sure Rowdy Tellez. They have some decent righties. Willy Adames, he's found out a way to hit post Tampa Bay, that's for sure. You have Terang. You have a number of other pieces that are okay to be looking at. Brian Anderson, but I'm not jumping over the moon to try to back them here in this spot. Or am I? Oh yeah, I am. You're right. Freddie Peralta, my friends. I expect him to start improving based on what we've seen. He's run into a little bit of unlucky situations here of late. 6 earned against St. Louis, 3 against Tampa Bay. I love those two lineups. He's got a 1.31 whip, 4.15 ERA, and I still think this fastball seems to be doing what it typically does. And considering that's really all his repertoire is, just firing fastballs repeatedly, he's fastball Freddy. He's got a 32.9% hard hit percentage, a 2.70 expected ERA last season. That's up to 3.98 this season, but it still profiles pretty nicely at this number for me. Oh my God, I am completely losing my voice at the tail end of this one. I'm going to be whispering by the end of this, that's for sure. So, oh boy, minus 130 on the money line. That's more than good enough for me to be backing Freddie Peralta. Good number to be getting. Producer Jacob wanted you to know San Francisco, Milwaukee, two ugly logos next to each other, but this is a beautiful logo down here. BetMGM, and right now, you get 2 free months of premium Discord when you sign up using promo code OS Insider. Yes, OS Insider in the video description box below. It's great stuff over at BetMGM. They routinely have some of the best batter props in all of baseball. You want to be signed up over there, taking advantage of that product on a day in, day out basis. And hey, that's not all you're going to get this 2 free months of premium Discord with myself, Eitan Shander, Ben Raza, Isaiah Suarez, all these genius dudes, but up to $1,000 in bonus bets coming back if your first wager loses. Yes, if you bet $50, you're going to get $50 back in bonus bets if that first wager loses. If it wins, you keep the money and you move along your merry way, all the way up to $1,000. That's a ridiculous deal. Take advantage of it now in the video description box below. Again, it's promo code OS Insider. Let's get ourselves back to the picks. Oh, but I got to let you know, it's only through 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, now back to the picks. Some of you are going to be ecstatic about this because I'm starting to lose my voice and then it comes back. I'm going to try to be a little bit more short-winded, if that's a human possible thing. We have Kevin Gausman on the mound going up against Louis Varland. And Louis Varland, I have one of the cooler stories. His brother pitched for the Milwaukee Brewers, was in AAA. I think he's still in AAA, but either way, got to go to spring training this season, got to watch his brother strike out a side next to his wife, who is crying and is ecstatic. Baseball is a beautiful sport, and some of us can be sentimental about it. But I'm a Minnesota Twins fan, and this begins our lock parade. And I do mean we have lots of locks coming down the pipeline, 3 of them, in fact, from here on out, and it begins here as I target Louis Varland. 44.3% hard hit percentage, a 26.3% K rate. I do not believe this in the slightest. Coming off of last year, just a 19.8% K rate. Does throw a 95, 96, has decent enough velocity. but he is a complete back end. We're talking 15th rounder, 449th pick in 2019. This K rate is not sustainable. I don't believe it. I would love to be wrong as a Minnesota Twins fan, but as I look at his pitch mix, something has got to give. And I think it gives right here against Kevin Gausman and the Toronto Blue Jays. Not only is this one of the more stellar lineups in all of baseball, this is one of the more stellar pitchers. A 31.9% K rate, a 4.3% walk rate. Those are as elite of numbers as you're going to find. Add that to the 279 xWOBA. As long as he avoids hard contact from the likes of Joey Gallo, from the likes of my guy Alex Kirilloff, who's just starting to get his, he is just swinging nicely. I'm never saying that again. Kevin Gausman, I'm going to be backing him here. I'm going against my team for a lock. Yeah, you want to know if I'm a homer or not? This should throw all apprehension of that away. My favorite play on the board, period, today, Toronto money line going up against my team, minus 145 at DraftKings Sportsbook. Not nearly enough. This is your parlay piece du jour. To Kansas City we go. Washington, Kansas City, and I'm going to be very short-winded about this game because I don't really have a whole lot I want to say. Would you want to go to this game for free? I would think about it. Kauffman Stadium is kind of beautiful, but we've got Patrick Corbin going up against Jordan Lyles. The hell? Sounds awful. I mean, it sounds downright horrendous. I mean, I could just say those two names and you should know that I'm leaning on the over, but it doesn't project out all that well. And why? I don't know what to make of Patrick Corbin of late. I really don't. We're starting to see some decent form out of him. He has not given up more than 3 runs since April 10th. What? Yeah, he's got a 4.47 ERA, but he's going deeper into games. That is 4 straight quality starts now for Patrick Corbin. What? Nothing looks great in velocity. He still has a 46.5% hard hit percentage, and he has a 13.8% K rate, but apparently teams just lose the ability to hit from them. It's almost like when you have a ball on a tee. It's harder to hit. No, it's not. It's a stupid analogy. Jordan Lyles is terrible too. 513 expected slugging. So you know what? I'm just leaning towards the over. I should really want to jam this one though. I really, really should. I don't know what to make of Patrick Corbin. I'm trying to find what's going on. Primarily that sinker's just finding ways to avoid barrels. Only a 7.9% barrel percentage. But otherwise, I got nothing for you because the whiff percentage isn't there. He's terrible. Whatever. Over 9, just a lean. To lock number 2, and you need to be very careful here, friends. There is rain expected in Colorado tomorrow. We know these pop-up showers throughout the summer. They are kind of a problem, and they can wipe out really, really good things, and they better not wipe out Max Scherzer going up against Connor Seabold. This is a mismatch of epic proportions. And here's the thing. Max Scherzer, he hasn't been typical Max Scherzer this season, but he's still pretty damn good. A 214 expecting batting average is near the top of baseball. Just a 22.6% K rate. 9.5% walk rate is a little bit rough too. But compare it to Connor Seabold, and you're just comparing apples to nuclear bombs, oranges to towels. I don't know. Things that don't make sense. Connor Seabold, 16.8% K rate, 337 xWOBA. Nothing is great. Nothing is standing out to me in this one. I don't understand how the Mets aren't bigger than minus 210 favorites. I have them closer to minus 250. That is a huge gap, but I want to get a little bit aggressive here. And this is where my spreadsheet says that the money line is actually a little preferred. But I look at minus 1.5. It is minus 145 at Caesars Sportsbook right now. Think about that disparity. It should be larger than that, but that's what happens when you talk about a ballpark. We had a deep conversation in the premium Discord the other day about run variance when you have specific ballparks. We were talking about Seattle. When the line moved to 2.5, you stood away. But in this one, it makes sense that the Mets are just sitting around that 225 number on the money line, and then minus 145 on the run line. And the reason is because runs are far more prevalent at a place like Coors Field. And I think the Mets destroy Connor Seabold. I'm going to be looking at alternate numbers, and the minus 145 on the run, it's at Caesars Sportsbook on the run line is my second favorite play of the entire day. So Mets by fatality. My voice didn't allow me to do that. Max Scherzer just smashes Connor Seabold, gets smashed. There you go. Mets minus 1.5. Lock it up. Want to hear the dumbest thing ever? Here's the dumbest thing ever. Jorge Soler, He's your home run play from this one. Yeah, just keeps going yard in Coors Field, and now he's going to be outside of Coors Field, but it almost doesn't matter because he gets a lefty. It's Jesus Luzardo here for the Miami Marlins going up against Reed Detmers. Yeah, Reed Detmers, 29.8% K rate. Decent stuff. 371 expected slugging. Great stuff. He's a 23-year-old who throws the ball left-handed, and therefore there's no way on earth that I'm not going to be playing Jorge Soler for a home run against him. And shout out my guy, Greg Ehrenberg, because, well, he's been on top of this one constantly for sure. But we're talking over a 325 WRC plus for Jorge Soler against lefties. He's got a 135 WRC plus overall, but we're talking about the best hitter in baseball against lefties, and he's facing a lefty. So, like, this is better than plus 200. Run to the bank. This is your home run play of the day. So there you go. Juan Soto, he's a good play. But I'm in love with this one. Jorge Soler, quick and easy. We move along. Boston and Arizona. Chris Sale going up against Brandon Pfaadt, who has been very fatly disappointing. I tried to make a joke there. I ruined it. Again, I can't speak right now. 7.65 ERA, 1.55 whip. It has been brutality. Fatality, a little bit of that. But yet I'm leaning towards them because Chris Sale, well, he's getting a little bit more credit than I think he deserves considering the 5.01 ERA, 1.17 whip. I do expect positive regression in his near future, but at minus 141 at Bet Rivers, which I don't have access to, and minus 150, the next available line at DraftKings Sportsbook, I have to pass. I'm leaning plus 130. That's the Arizona side of it, mainly because this lineup overall, pretty decent stuff, but you neutralize Corbin Carroll left on left. Yes, Christian Walker may be a home run play for me, but I got to get out of this one pretty quickly. Arizona money line, just a lean. Oh, a team against Oakland? I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, Dumb and Dumber. That was a fire movie once upon a time. But we are looking at a mismatch of epic proportions. James, Caprillion. Oakland Athletics here, going up against Hunter Brown and the Houston Astros. Now, Hunter Brown, we now have a larger sample size. He continues to strike guys out, but a 45.5% hard hit percentage. I do not like that, Sam. I do not like that with green eggs and ham. And then James Caprillion, 383 xWOBA. 14% walk rate. What are we doing here? Yeah, Houston, minus 1.5. This lineup, it's pretty good. It's only going to get better if Jose Altuve can join the land of the living. Now, just a 90 WRC plus, but you still have Yordan Alvarez. You still have Kyle Tucker. That, my friends, is good enough for me for a half unit play. Yes, strictly half unit, considering minus 135 best available number, minus 145 the most prevalent number. I think both of those are in play for the half unit. Fire it up. And our last play of the game, yes, third lock of the game coming here. It is two fantastic pitchers in a fantastic ballpark for preventing runs. It's Mitch Keller going up against George Kirby. And wild to say that I like both of these pitchers because I'm pretty sure we targeted them throughout all of last season, but they've both made massive improvements. Let's talk Mitch Keller first. Sub 30% hard hit percentage, 2.82 expected ERA. He's kind of this season's Sandy Alcantara, where he's found improvements out of nowhere. He is only 27 years of age. It is still a very small sample size, under 1,000 pitches. But I believe some of the improvements he's made with the four-seamer cutter sinker combination, even this sweeper starting to move. And sometimes when you see 6, 7 pitches thrown in through a mix, you don't run into somebody who has that big of improvements, but the cutter is a brand new pitch for him this season. And it has by far the best spin rate amongst most cutters in baseball. Well, no, that's a Yogi Berra-ism if I've ever heard it. His cutter has 2,448 RPMs. Pretty happy with it overall, considering the 252 expected batting average. We are going to fire up the under here, mainly because him and George Kirby, oh boy. George Kirby, am I wrong about him? I hope so. 272 xWOBA, 2.2% walk rate. Friends, lock under the 7 here. Maybe he's just better than I expected, despite just the 20.4% K rate. Don't think he'll ever be that fluffy guy who just gets Ks, so doesn't matter. Under 7 in Seattle, I am in love with this play. Another lock to round out our day. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays for Friday. Let's have ourselves a fantastic weekend. If you want to join the premium Discord, no better way than checking out BetMGM. If you have a gambling problem, though, please call 1-800-GAMBLER, and it's only if you're 21 and over. Thank you to producer Jacob. Another week of work in the books, my friend. Until next time, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Friday and this entire weekend.